crashing over every boundary and consideration of who is qualified, unqualified. He simply gives. He overflows. He floods the world with Nama Sankirtan. Divine love in the form of sound. He is the combined form of Radha and Krishna. See the ecstasy on his face. This divine couple, Radha Krishna, they become one. Radha's love and Krishna's sweetness merge in this single golden colored form that came not to demand our worship, but to teach us how to love. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which one is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? The one on the right. It's good. They look the same. Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a golden volcano of divine love, erupting in this age of Kali, this age of quarrel. Not with weapons or royal proclamations, but with kirtan, with humility, and with tears of longing for Krishna. And now, through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, sitting right here, the whole world has heard of him. How many of us knew about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before coming to ISKCON? None of us. I don't think anyone. No. Very few. How many people knew that Mahaprabhu is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? A lot of the time Mahaprabhu is referring to someone else. Not the same Mahaprabhu. Yeah, that is not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's right. But Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Prabhupada carried the message of this golden avatar to every continent. Before, it wasn't even there in every state of India. Maybe West Bengal, a few people knew about him. And he brought it to places like Colombia, and Brazil, and South Africa. And today people in Indonesia and Japan know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they're singing Jai Sachinandana Gaur Hari. Chinese people, Japanese people, African people. Wow. That is our Srila Prabhupada. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to carry that torch forward. All of us who are sitting here, all of us in this group. To dive deeper into the life and teachings and mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to become living instruments of his prophecy. What is prophecy? In every town and village, my name will be heard. Prithivite acche jatta nagaradi gram sarva prachar hoibe moranam. So in this series, we won't just study history. We will enter a living revelation. We'll meet the Supreme Lord in his most intimate, approachable, and ecstatic form. So welcome to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let the golden wave carry us home. So let's welcome him into our heart with this dhun. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Jaya. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Gauranitai ki Jai. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Before coming to ISKCON, I had no idea, most of us had no idea, who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is this Nityananda Prabhu, who is Advaita Acharya, why are people so ecstatic saying their names, why does it sound so beautiful? So today we begin to step into this golden light of Lord Chaitanya's life. It's Chaitanya Charitamrita. A life not of this world, but meant to awaken the sleeping souls of this world. His pastimes are not of this world. They came here to wake us up. He came from the awake world. We are the sleeping world. This course is not about learning facts, just facts, no. It's about rekindling our relationship with the Lord. Through the verses and pastimes of Chaitanya Charitamrita, will uncover the boundless mercy and divine beauty of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu as revealed by our beloved Srila Prabhupada. Now imagine a journey that begins with duty. That's Bhagavad Gita. It's all about duty. And it matures into devotion. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. And then it blossoms into divine madness. That is Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is our path. We go from duty to devotion to divine madness. Yes, we want to become mad. But a different category of insanity. This extraordinary scripture is written by whom? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And he was a sprite young man when he wrote it. He was in his 90s. His 90s. It's not just literature. It's revelation. It draws from two sources, two sacred sources. The diary of Murari Gupta in Navadvip and Swarup Damodar's intimate record of Mahaprabhu's life in Jagannath Puri. So we got two diaries, he combined them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he walked on this earth for 48 golden years. From the playful brilliance of Nimai Pandit, you remember Nimai Pandit? Young Pandit. To the oceanic ecstasies of Gauranga in the Gambhira. Gambhira means what? Serious. But the Gambhira means what? It's that room in Jagannath Puri. Small room where he had his amazing ecstasies. So from Nimai Pandit to the Gambhira. This Chaitanya Charitamrita is another book also. The Chaitanya Bhagavat. Now the Chaitanya Bhagavat lovingly details his earlier years. But this book, Chaitanya Charitamrita, is a deep dive. It's very deep. It's the postgraduate scripture of bhakti that Prabhupada called our final study. A lot of our devotees in ISKCON, some of our devotees have been coming for many years even. Read Bhagavad Gita, You attend Bhagavatam classes, you watch Bhagavatam classes on YouTube, and you read Bhagavatam. Many devotees complete Bhagavad Gita several times over. Some devotees have finished the entire Bhagavatam on their own study. Very few, I've actually asked around, very few have actually studied the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita. Forget about studied, read cover to cover. How many have read Chaitanya Charitamrita? The full cover to cover from beginning to end? We have a few, you see? Yes. The devotees here online also who joined and they've also read. But there are many of us who have not read Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is the final study. So this, of course, you can imagine, we'll not go into too much detail because only in 6 sessions we're going to cover 3 big books, many, many volumes. So we'll move very quickly. But we will have some goals for this course. Okay? First goal is Patra Parichaya. We must become familiar, get acquainted. Parichaya just means acquaintance. May not be in depth. At least we'll get to know some names and some basic understanding of these eternal associates of the Lord who worshipped Him and who shaped and carried this Gaudiya tradition forward. We'll get to know who they are. The divine personalities, okay? Patra Parichaya. Another goal is Tattva Siddhanta. There's a lot of philosophy in Chaitanya Charitamrita, very advanced. In fact, the most advanced philosophical treatise is embedded in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This mad ecstasies, there's a method to the madness. That is a philosophy. See? So we'll try to grasp at least a few of the key philosophical concepts and the theological truths that Prabhupada emphasized. There's many, many concepts in here, but we'll just focus on a few that Prabhupada repeatedly brought up. You see, so at least we'll know that basic stuff. If somebody asks, what are the few things in Chaitanya? We can be, something. No, we can quote a few things. You know, a few key points. All right? And of course, Leela. The actual pastimes, the stories, what happened. Understand them. And at least we can be able to narrate a few of these divine pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The key ones. There's so many. It's an ocean of pastimes. We'll just do a few of the highlights, okay? And perhaps the fourth bonus goal, I haven't listed here, is what you can call Anusandhan. Anusandhan means how can I personally integrate these teachings into my life today, living here in America, living here in the West, in the modern time, in 2025. We can reflect on how to embody Mahaprabhu's teachings and participate in fulfilling this prediction of Prithivete Jatannagaradigram, of every town and village. So we'll start with the first verse. It's interesting. Anybody know the first? Do you know this first verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, verse number 1? It's not that often quoted, but it's very interesting who he's offering to. This Mangalacharan. This whole first 12 chapters is Mangalacharan only. The whole section is all Mangalacharan. Okay? So, repeat after me. Vande Guru Nisha Bhaktan Ishamishavatarakan Tat Prakashamscha Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samyakam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual masters. He didn't say Guru. He says Gurun. The N means Bahuvachan, plural. That's why it's spiritual masters. It's not that I only have one spiritual master. And Krishnadas Kaviraj also, not just one. Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha, right? We say all the time. Unto the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, His plenary portions, His energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So every great story begins with reverence. The first 14 verses of Adi Lila form Mangalacharan of this nature. But these are not ordinary verses. They are lanterns, lighting the path to the most intimate truths. Now in these chapters, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami invites us not just to observe Mahaprabhu's life, but to behold his identity always. He always spotlights his identity. And this temple is nice that way. Look on this wall, amazing, Panchatattva. You look back there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu engaging. You look in the front, he's on the central altar. This is the place to absorb yourself in Mahaprabhu's love. You're surrounded by him, he's embracing you here in Toako temple. So, before we relish rasa, we must be rooted in tattva. That's very good. It's very important. This philosophy is not just a dry preface. It's a protective armor. Philosophy protects us from what? Without this, we risk mistaking transcendence for sentiment. When we see the divine madness of the devotees, this is a sentiment. And people did criticize them for it. Mahaprabhu was criticized for being sentimentalist, isn't it? By those, because they didn't know what he was, what he's doing. We need to know. We are supposed to be Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. That's us. That's us. Right? Without this armor, we mistake the divine for the mundane. Krishnadas Kaviraj warns us, don't be lazy in studying this philosophy. Deep reflection develops strong devotion. Deeper your reflection, the stronger your devotion. The deeper the roots, the less likely the tree is going to be shaken, you see? So, it's going to be a quiz, okay? It's going to be a quiz, so pay attention. I'm going to ask you these questions. The word avatar literally means to come down. Tar means to go up. Wo tar gaya. Uska taran ho gaya. He went up. Ava means opposite. Opposite direction. He's coming downwards. Avatar. That's where the word comes from. Lord Chaitanya's descent is exceedingly rare. He comes once in a day of Brahma. Which is how many years? 4.32 billion years. So think about it. He comes every 4.3 billion years, and he just came 500 years ago relative to us. That's amazing. It's like he came yesterday afternoon or something like that. So externally, he was summoned by who? Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya's devotion. He says, come down. He offered tulsi leaves, tulsi buds, and Ganga water, and he cried out for divine intervention. That's him. You can see Advaita Acharya up there. And the Lord responded. He came. Not with weapons and thunderbolt, but with mridanga. Not with justice, but with a flood of mercy. He descended to teach the Yuga Dharma. What is that? Nama Sankirtan. That is the Dharma for this Yuga. And is the most accessible path for all the fallen people of this age. How many people here are not fallen? Yes. How many people are not fallen? Oh, okay. So then this is for us. Now internally, confidentially, Krishna had a divine curiosity. How can Krishna be curious? If you know everything, what is there to be curious about? That's the paradox. And yet he's curious. Even though he had tasted the love in all the flavors of relationship, like Narsinghadev coming out from the pillar and exchanging love with Prahlad Maharaj, Lord Ram, he's right here with Sita Devi and Lakshman, and Lord Krishna lifting the Govardhan. He's lifting Govardhan. That's what he's doing with his hand up there. And with the gopis underneath there and the gopas. He tasted all that. But he had never tasted the love that is there in the heart of his greatest devotee, Srimati Radharani. So he descends as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to feel what she feels, to see himself through her eyes, and to experience the bliss of loving Krishna. Not just being loved by him. So Mahaprabhu, he wove this garland of the holy name and pure love and offered it to the entire world. Through Nam Sankirtan, he opened the door to Goloka Vrindavan, where this devotion flows. Not with awe and reverence, but with the intimacy of service, friendship, parental love, and divine romance. Okay, all this is very nice. But how do we know? How do we know he is who he says he is, or he is who all these people say he is? The world is full of pakhandis, pretenders, spiritual salesmen, I am God, and so on. And the world is full of sentimental. How do we know? How do we know? So, yes. So this is, Lord Chaitanya is known as safe. He's a safe God. Safe means it's safe to assume he's God. How? Krishnadas Kaviraj gives this safe test. S stands for scripture, like you said. He's predicted in dozens and dozens of Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, all over the place. He's there in the Mahabharata. Did you know that? In the Mahabharata, but you will not find that in B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata. But he's there in the Mahabharata. No version of Bollywood Mahabharata you'll find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he's there. He's there in the Mahabharata. There's a Vishnu Sahasranam. In the Sahasranam, very precisely is predicted. Suvarna Varna Hemango Varangas Chandanangadi. Right? So scripture. And A is astrology and attributes. His physical features, his astrology, his chart, unmistakable signs marked by, his birth time and various aspects of his form. Only divine qualities are there on his form. F is, you follow the authorities. You look at the greatest saints, the greatest acharyas, the most brilliant philosophers who are theists and theologians. And when the greatest saints bow their heads to Mahaprabhu, we follow them. Our job to follow. That's safe. Mahajano yena gata sapantha. And E, extraordinary deeds. He made these tigers and lions dance in the forest, and he transformed entire cities just by his name. He is the God who never declared himself. He is the avatar who always veiled his own glory. And yet, these learned, pure-hearted, surrendered souls recognized the blazing sun under that robe of the sannyasi. Now we come and meet the divine family. The painting right here of Panchatattva. You can see the painting up here. Panchatattva. 5. These are not just devotees, not just saints. They are the very limbs of the absolute truth. The middle is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself in the role of a devotee. Then in blue is Nityananda Prabhu, who is none other than Lord Balaram. He is the servant God. How can servant God? He's God, but he's servant. He's servant who leads with laughter and madness. He's unpredictable, this Nityananda Prabhu, even more so than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's even more mad. And then, in the white clothes and the white beard, who is that? Advaita Acharya. He cried for Krishna to descend. And he made it happen. So, Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. Advaita Acharya is who? Combined form of Sadashiv and Mahavishnu. Sadashiv and Mahavishnu. Wow, that's another amazing, mind-blowing thing. How is that? And yet, it is Achintya. We cannot conceive. But just because it's Achintya doesn't mean it is Asambhav. There's a big difference between Achintya and Asambhav. Just because I cannot understand it doesn't mean it's not possible. See? So that's amazing. And then, you have Gadadhar Pandit. Then this painting, right? In the red. To the left of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit is actually Srimati Radharani, quietly watching Krishna act like her. Can you imagine? See, imagine Mahesh Pandit Prabhu. Suppose you're acting like Mataji. He's showing everybody how she, and then she's quietly watching. Later on you get some masala. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. Srimati Radharani watching quietly in the form of Gadadhar Pandit, smiling. And then here we have Srivas Thakur on the right completely. That is, he is the heart of pure devotion, the soul of Sankirtan movement. Prabhu, ये हाथ से करना पड़ेगा. Or keep pressing it. Yeah. Shri Gauranitai ki jai. So Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas Thakur, he's the heart of pure devotion. It's right there, standing like this. He is considered the soul of the Sankirtan movement. And he is none other than Narada Muni, that's correct. So together these five, they did not start a religion. You know, some people start a religion. No. They started a revolution. It shook up the whole world. And that up to us to keep shaking. It's a transcendental epidemic. We can use that word now, I think it's kind of. Epidemic of ecstatic love. It spread like fire. So, Krishna Chaitanya is known as Bhakta Rupa. Lord himself as devotee. And Nityananda is Bhakta Swarupa. Advaita Acharya is Bhakta Avatar, the cause of the avatar. And Gadadhar Pandit is known as Bhakta Shakti, the Lord's internal potency. And Srivas Pandit is Bhakta. So anyway, the key takeaway is that unlike other avatars who came to be worshipped, these five came together to worship. They came to worship. That's the main job. See, Nrsimhadev Bhagwan didn't come to worship anybody. He came where we worship him. Lord Ram is not known, for his incense skills or his kirtan. He came to be worshipped. But these are unique. They came together to worship and to teach us how to worship. Therefore, we need to get really close to them. Because the divinity, teaching us how to approach the divine. See? And of course, how to make it grow. And what grows? The tree. So now, a number of chapters in Adi Leela, they talk about the desired tree of bhakti. It's a big one. So Mahaprabhu, he planted a tree in Navadvip. But of course, this is no ordinary tree. It is divine. It has no end. It has no borders. Its branches reach the oceans. And the fruits never run dry. So its main trunk is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then the other main branches are Nityananda and Advaita. And what about its leaves and the other branches? Smaller branches are the 6 Goswamis. We'll talk about them. And of course, our very special branch, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So we're a branch of ISKCON. Come to ISKCON branch right here. But this is a very strong branch. Think about it. This branch, Prabhupada spread Mahaprabhu's name all over the world. And what about us then? We can be the little leaves and the fruit bearers. We can be going out distributing the fruits. That's our job. We are not outside this tree. We are part of this tree to the degree that we want to be part of this tree. It's up to us. So I'll read some of the text. This is chapter 9. We're already in chapter 9, by the way. All the parts of this tree are spiritually cognizant, and thus, as they grow, they spread all over the world. Mahaprabhu says this, I am the only gardener. How many places can I go? Think of the mood. Look at Mahaprabhu's mood. He's saying, I want you to join me to spread this. How many fruits can I pick and distribute? It would certainly be a very laborious task to pick the fruits and distribute them alone. And still I suspect that some would receive them, others would not. Therefore, and this is for us, I order every person within this universe, he's saying I order, to accept this Krishna consciousness movement and distribute it everywhere. Am I audible on Zoom? Just want to check. Yes, Samraj. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Now, Srila Prabhupada, he carried those fruits across the sea and planted them in gardens and cities that had forgotten the soul. So this tree is very much described. So this is pretty elaborate now. We get really into the thick of it, okay? I hope you can see the screen here. Maybe these names might be too small. I'll point them out. Right in the middle, you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu up there? This is a family tree, but not family tree of so much father, son kind of thing. It's more of the family tree of guru-disciple relationships within our succession. A spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Ishwara Puri, and Ishwara Puri's guru is Madhavendra Puri, right? So we can see Madhavendra Puri is up there. So in this chapter 9, this verse says, all glories to Madhavendra Puri, the storehouse of all devotional service of Krishna. He is a desired tree of devotional service, and it is in him that the seed of devotional service first fructified. So from Madhavendra Puri, we see one of his disciples, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, whose disciple is Gadadhar Pandit, whose disciple is Raghunath Bhatt Goswami. So some of these disciplic successions, they're not initiation kind of disciplic successions, not diksha, they are shiksha connections. Okay? Advaitacharya disciple is Yadunandanacharya, whose disciple is Raghunath Das Goswami. Nityananda Prabhu's disciples are Vrindavan Das Thakur, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. Both of them authored, one authored Chaitanya Bhagavat, the other authored Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then you can see all these 6 Goswamis, Gopal Bhatt Goswami, Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jeev Goswami. And like that, Jeev Goswami disciple Narottam Das Thakur, and from Narottam Das Thakur our lineage comes down to Srila Prabhupada. So we are connected to this tree, we are plugged in. To the extent we keep plugged in, we will feel the electricity. Of course, these are only a few of the names actually mentioned in these chapters. You know, the idea of this summary course is to give you a sense that you can walk away with some key names, you know, whose glories are endless, and that you can read more about them to increase your own ecstasy. So we'll revisit this tree many times throughout the course, so don't worry about it too much right now, like, how can I, there's a quiz at the end, but still, don't worry too much, okay? The sheer number of devotees leading the many, many branches of the tree of Lord Chaitanya can be mind-boggling. If you read those chapters, and I invite you to read them, you'll come to the 90th branch is led by this. 89th branch, you're already at 90th branch. You know? When I heard in New York City, they have like 50th Street, oh, so many. Oh no, there's 100th Street also. So many branches are there. So, the first few chapters of Adi Leela are filled with these beautiful names and wonderful devotees. Each of them have wonderful stories connected to them. Of course, that's beyond the scope of this course, but it's just to give you a sense of the scale of the ocean of that Leela that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested during the short span. This is half the list, okay? Shivas Pandit, Shri Ram Pandit, Shripati, Srinidhi, Acharya Ratna, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Gadadhar Pandit, Vakreshwar Pandit, Jagadanand Pandit, Raghav Pandit, many Pandits are there. Gangadas Pandit, Shri Acharya Purandar, Damodar Pandit, Shankar Pandit, Sadashiv Pandit, Pradyumna Brahmachari, Narayan Pandit, Shriman Pandit, Shuklamba Brahmachari, Nandanacharya, Mukund Das, Vasudev Das, Shivanand Sen, so many. Shivanand Sen and his sons, Chaitanya Das, Ram Das, Karnapur, Shri Vallabha Sen, Sri Kant Sen, Every name you can think of is here. See? Each of these divine personalities have amazing stories, and they're there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. We'll cover a few of them. Some notable names you might recognize. Mukunda Dutt, singer of beautiful kirtan. Haridas Thakur, Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Murari Gupta, devotee of Lord Ram, yes. He's an incarnation of Hanuman. And many names like that. But of course, in chapter 10 and 11, we meet these amazing 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he brought the rarest treasure, which is pure love of Krishna, in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Right? We know that. But he knew his time on earth is going to be limited and brief. So to ensure that the gift that he's brought will be preserved, will be practiced, will be spread for all time, he empowered his 6 extraordinary souls, the Shad Goswamis of Vrindavan. They were not ordinary saints. These 6 were the pillars. They're the master architects of bhakti in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. They're the excavators of Krishna's lost pastime places. They're the authors of the very scriptures that define our theology today. Yet their humility was oceanic. Amazing. They lived in they lived in these torn clothes. No houses. Slept under trees. And they begged for food, considering themselves servants of the servant of the servant. And each one had their own brilliance. Rup and Sanatan were the architects of Rasa and Sambandha. Rasa means the taste, and Sambandha means relationship with the Lord. Jiva Goswami is a philosopher's philosopher. Prabhupada said he's the greatest philosopher ever lived. Not just among Gaudiya Vaishnavas. He's the greatest philosopher who ever lived. Even today, people get PhDs in Oxford University by studying just one page of his work. It's enough to give them PhD from Oxford. That's our Jiva Goswami. And Raghunath Das, so much devotion, tears flowing like rivers. And Gopal Bhatt and Raghunath Bhatt, they're steeped in devotion and Shastra. They're poets, they're renunciants, they're scholars. They were maps to Goloka. Through them, Mahaprabhu's mission was sealed for eternity. It's inscribed not just in books, but in the very dust of Vrindavan. You can imagine. Can you just imagine? Look at this picture. Imagine how much collective ecstasy there is in just this picture. One image. What are they talking to each other about? Just think of the nectar they must be discussing in this picture. They're not going to talk about prices of avocados. What are they talking about? They're sitting on the sacred land where the beloved Lord Krishna performed his pastimes. These are the temples behind them that they built. And after having built these temples and excavating so many places of pilgrimage, what they must be thinking. So let us sing this one verse to arouse our joy and appreciation for the 6 Goswamis. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Parao Premamritambo Nidhi Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Parao Premamritambo Nidhi Dhira dhira jana priya priya karo nirmatsara pujita Dhira dhira jana priya priya karo nirmatsara pujita Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bharo Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavahantarako Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavahantaraka Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujuga Shri Jiva Gopalaka Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujuga Shri Jiva Gopalaka Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujuga Shri Jiva Gopalaka I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, Shri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, who are always engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and dancing. They are just like the ocean of love of God. And they are popular, both with the gentle and with the ruffians. Dhira dhira. Yeah, even the villains and crazy people, they love them because, well, they're so soft-hearted and attractive. And nobody will feel like being mean to them. Whatever they do, they're all pleasing to everyone. And they're fully blessed by Lord Chaitanya. Thus they're engaged in missionary activities meant to deliver all the conditioned souls in the material universe. We should learn a little bit more about them, I felt. Yeah. So let's talk about Rupa and Sanatan. These are the elder brothers. They're the lawgivers of bhakti. This is not a quiz, okay? So pay attention. Rupa and Sanatan were once known as Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik. These are like Persian kind of names given to them. They're actually born in Brahminical families, but then because they're high-ranking ministers in the Muslim government under Nawab Hussain Shah in Bengal. They were learned in Persian. It's like Urdu, basically, because that's the language. Sanskrit and all aspects of politics, economics. They lived in wealth. They're actually pretty rich. And a lot of influence too. But when they encountered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their hearts were ignited. That wealth was nothing. It didn't do anything for them. So then Sanatan Goswami, he told the Nawab that he could not serve because he has found some higher duty. Huh? What higher duty? Put him in prison. He put him in prison. But of course Sanatan Goswami escaped and he is walking barefoot to meet Mahaprabhu in Banaras. And there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally instructed him. Sanatan Goswami is instructed personally on the science of devotional service. Rupa Goswami met Mahaprabhu where? In Prayag. Right? Where the Lord embraced him and spent 10 days pouring this ocean of rasa tattva into his hearts, the truth of Krishna's pastimes, and the process of Raganuga Bhakti. So Rupa Goswami wrote, which famous books did he write? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nectar, that's nectar of devotion. And then Upadeshamrita, nectar of instruction. And he wrote Ujjwal Nilmani, which is the dramas of conjugal love and poetry. Sanatan Goswami wrote this big book called Brihad Bhagavatamrita. He also wrote this Hari Bhakti Vilas. Hari Bhakti Vilas. Hari Bhakti Vilas teaches us about how to worship, all the rules, regulations. And they discovered and restored many lost pastimes, like the Madan Mohan temple, Govinda Dev temple. So Rupa Goswami is the master of rasa, and Sanatan Goswami is master of achar, practical conduct, and sambandha, tattva, the relationship, understanding relationship. Okay? That's Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. There are 4 more to go. Next one is Jiva Goswami, the philosopher's philosopher. Who is that? Jiva Goswami, that's right. He's a nephew of Rupa and Sanatan, right? Now he's what's known as the child prodigy. You know, sometimes we have little kids who are just so advanced. He's one of those. As a little boy, he carved the deity of Krishna and worshipped him. You know how we offer Abhishek with water? He offered Abhishek with his tears. Yes. There's so much love. And inspired by his uncles, he also journeyed to Vrindavan and he became the foremost scholar of his time. He written many books called the Sandarbhas, Shata Sandarbha. He mastered Sanskrit, of course, Nyaya, logic, Vedanta, all branches of theology. He was expert in them. And he explained everything from the supremacy of bhakti, the Bhakti Sandarbha, to the identity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the combined form. He explained the identity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu philosophically. See? He is also brilliant in terms of legal documents. He was one of the first to talk about trademarks and legal documents, all kind of stuff like that. Like, trusteeship and all that. He was the first ISKCON property office. Our ISKCON property office is based on his teachings. Yes. Amazing. How is that? Because he was also expert in temple construction. So if you want our temple to get done, we pray to Jiva Goswami. Yes. He cared for visiting pilgrims. That's part of what we do. What is life membership program? So Jiva Goswami basically founded the framework for modern day ISKCON. And he protected Vrindavan's devotional atmosphere. Unmatched intellect. Yet he was so gentle and so humble, offering obeisances even to ordinary villagers. Some ordinary village he doesn't recognize, he'd offer obeisances flat to them. Amazing. And we have a hard time offering obeisances. Even when Guru Maharaj comes, do I have to, back is hurting. You can imagine, it's a big difference. Raghunath Das Goswami. He's known as Prayojan Acharya. He's the ocean of renunciation. He was born into immense wealth. His family was like so rich. It's like being born into Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates kind of family, like that. Majmudar. Huge. Majumdar. So much. Mazum means, I don't know, billions? I don't know what Mazum means, but Mazumdar. Loaded. His family was like kings. He had everything. He had property, he had fine clothes, endless servants, But his heart longed only for the dust of Mahaprabhu's feet. And he kept escaping. He's trying to escape from his house. And finally, after repeated attempts, he managed to break through and he ran to Jagannath Puri, where Mahaprabhu personally embraced him. And the Lord instructed him to live at Jagannath's gate, begging for food. Wow. Chanting constantly, never speaking any mundane topics. So when Mahaprabhu left the world, then Raghunath moved to Radhakund. Radhakund, if you read Nectar of Instruction, it's the ultimate pinnacle. And he would leave only a few drops of buttermilk. You can put, how much buttermilk can fit on this much? That's how much he had in one day. Anjali. Few drops only. Buttermilk meaning not even butter. Not butter. Buttermilk is a chach. It's what's left over after you take out the butter. That's what he would live on. Immersed in chanting and weeping. So he's the source of much of what we know about Mahaprabhu's later years. Wait, is that Srimati Radharani? Holding her divine cloth? Is that sheltering Raghunath from the sun? What's the story behind this amazing pastime? We'll find out later episodes. It's called the cliffhanger. Or you can read about it. Spoiler alert. If you read about it, you'll know. Then we go to Gopal Bhatta Goswami, the keeper of the deities. Gopal Bhatt come from South India. Yeah, so you see even our 6 Goswamis, they have diversity. It's kind of like ISKCON of New Jersey. Gopal Bhatt Goswami. He met Mahaprabhu as a boy. Because Mahaprabhu visited South India. Yeah. Do you know why he visited South India? Because he heard of the dosas? Why did he visit South India? Anybody know? Yeah. Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visit? Yeah. Yeah, to meet many great devotees there, Ramananda Rai, and also to kind of have conversations like with, I think Venkata Bhatta was there, he had a conversation there. Also to see the oldest temples in South India. And he wanted to cover the whole country too. So he went down, he also went up then to Pandharpur and different places. So he wanted to cover basically all the different holy spots and maximum Vaishnava temples, ancient ones, are in South India. You see. So he went there. And so Gopal Bhatt Goswami compiled, along with Sanatana Goswami, he helped in compiling Hari Bhakti Vilas, and he gave detailed guidance on devotional practices. He worshipped Chalagram Shila. And one day, by the mercy of the Lord, the Shila transformed into Radha Raman deity, who still worshipped in Vrindavan today. And he looks like Shila, like the texture and the shine, amazing. It's divine. Sometimes he'll smile and show his teeth. Sometimes you don't see the teeth. Yeah. You go there. It depends on the day. It's true. In fact, there's many photographs of the deity. Some photos the teeth are visible, some photos no. Yeah. Check it out. Chasma kadavana, chasma kadavana. That is Radha Damodar. But not far from there, just around the corner from there. Then we go to Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami was known for his melodious singing. He is the melodious servant of Krishna. He is the son of Tapan Mishra of Banaras. And he served Mahaprabhu personally when he was young. He served Mahaprabhu personally for 8 months. Cooking, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Can you imagine Mahaprabhu is there, you cook for him, then you sit and you recite Bhagavatam for him. Amazing experience. Such sweetness. When he would recite and sing the Bhagavatam shlokas, even the scholars there would just start weeping. Because there is a sweetness to the voice of the person singing the Bhagavatam verses. And that sweetness comes from the devotion. So you can imagine, it's a big difference. It's not about musical notes. It's about the notes of the heart. So in Vrindavan, he served Govinda there with garlands and kirtan, and he avoided criticism of anybody entirely. So his melodious chanting was so beautiful. There's a story you can see in this picture. There's those birds there. When he lived in Vrindavan, he would sit at Radha Kund near his bhajan kutir. And over time, flocks of these beautiful birds would come just to hear him. Parrots and cuckoos and swans. And these birds, by the way, they are sensitive to devotional sentiments. Especially if somebody who has purity, birds will come and flock. And the pure name is being vibrated, they will come and listen. In nature. That's why it's good sometimes go do japa in nature. You'll see birds will come. If you do focused, nice devotional japa, then birds will come to hear. It's true. And don't do the kind where the birds are sitting there, they go away. Should be a little bit loving. They can sense that love. Yes. One devotee online, he said he had the experience this morning on japa walk. Yes, thank you, Joey. It's true, you'll feel it. It's a real thing. So they would sit quietly in the trees, listening with rapt attention to his Bhagavatam singing. And they would come regularly, they would come on time. They knew it's time, they would come before it starts. And just, And there would be a fixed audience. And they would remain motionless. Like birds are like, during the time of the singing, they would be like still. And then only when he is finished, then they would fly away. So what does this mean? The meaning and lesson is that Krishna Katha is universally attractive to all souls. When the glories of Krishna are spoken purely, birds, animals, they're drawn to hear. This reflects the truth. This is proof, it strengthens our faith, that every soul, regardless of body, has an eternal relationship with Krishna. We are thirsting for Krishna. And our Goswamis come to teach us this by their behaviors. And this is also echoing of Vraja Leela. In Vrajdham, Krishna's own pastimes, birds like the parrots of Vrindavan repeat his glories. In the Goswami, Jai Shri Gauranitai ki Jai. So in the Goswami's lives, these are echoes of Vrindavan. These Leelas become manifest again. The Leelas of Vrindavan. See? So the 6 Goswamis, although they're differing in personality and emphasis, the 6 Goswamis, they shared many similar qualities. They slept only a couple hours a day. They wore torn clothing. Like, nowadays it's fashionable to wear torn clothing. But it's different. It's just like people tear their jeans on purpose. This is different. They wore discarded clothes, People pay extra money for the... They're eating very little. They're begging door to door, constantly chanting the name of the Lord, and writing books, deep books. And they would meet together to discuss. Like we meet together regularly. It's not like, I know everything, you stay in your place. No, get together. Bodhayanta parasparam. Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. You see, and they would weep together in separation. And they all were engaged in restoring and protecting the holy places of Vrindavan. So how do they inspire us today? They show us that bhakti is not a part-time hobby. I'll do this in the middle of the day a little bit. It is our life's very mission. The other things we do for work or whatever, that's a part-time hobby that we can give up. It's okay. Bhakti is the main thing. Sometimes a lot of us, we come here, we come in the beginning to add something to our life. But if you're fortunate, realize this is life. Everything else is just what's the addition. You see. That's what they teach us. They gave up their wealth, they gave up their comfort, they gave up the recognition for the chance to live where? In Vrindavan, the dust of Vrindavan. To write about Krishna, to chant his names, to serve his devotees. They were not escapists. They were architects of an eternal city of devotion. It's not like now they've given up the other things, they've escaped now doing nothing. No, they're doing a lot more now. When Prabhupada started preaching, he was doing a lot more than when he was working as a pharmacist. It's not escapism. You're contributing something so meaningful to the world. You're producing billions of dollars of worth of value, which you couldn't do working in your job. You do as devotees. See? They're not escapists. Without them, these treasures of Vrindavan would have remained hidden. The theology of our tradition would have been undeveloped. And these practices that we do of bhakti, they would have been undefined. It's amazing. So how do we honor them? We study their books, follow their humility, and keep Vrindavan in our hearts. Isn't it? Look at Nectar of Instruction. Nectar of Instruction is only 11 verses, but it's a roadmap to a specific place known as Radhakund. But when you start out, you don't realize that. It's amazing. Yes, study their books. And now we come to Krishnadas Kaviraj. There's a quiet village known as Jamatpur in Bengal. And there lived a humble Brahmana named Krishnadas Kaviraj. He was born into a pious family, devoted to Lord Krishna. He was steeped in the teaching of bhakti from a very young age. But something happened. One moment, one event. An offense was committed, not by him, but in his house. Yeah. So one evening, a visiting devotee of Lord Nityananda came to their home. And Krishnadas's brother, maybe he was influenced by pride or maybe influenced by misunderstanding, he spoke dismissively of Nityananda Prabhu, who is the most merciful incarnation. This is not just any slight, it's an offense to one who is Adi Guru, the original spiritual master, the gateway to Gaura's mercy. Right? Krishnadas Kaviraj was very troubled by that offensive statement. Now, although he himself didn't speak it, but his brother spoke it, he felt that, he tolerated it. So that night he had a dream, and Lord Nityananda Prabhu came in his dream, radiant, smiling in a voice of compassion. He said, "Oh Krishnadas, do not remain in this house one more moment. Go now to Vrindavan. There you will attain everything." So when the Supreme Lord speaks, even in your dream, it's absolute. So without delay, without attachment, Krishnadas Kaviraj left everything, his family, his home, his possessions, nothing. He didn't even take nothing. He didn't take stuff with him. Alone with nothing but faith, he walked to Vrindavan. And it's a long walk. If you have to walk from here to your home, it doesn't matter where you are, it's a long walk. Isn't it? And you're in Montville, and it's a long walk in the same town. That's a long walk he walked. And there in Vrindavan, beneath the shade of a tamal tree, amongst the advanced devotees and the descendants of the Goswamis, he absorbed himself in deep devotion. And in time, all the Vaishnavas, recognizing his purity, they requested him, "You should write the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You're the right person." So earlier biographies, like Chaitanya Bhagavata, they're very reverential, they're very much respected, but they didn't fully capture the philosophical depth of the intimate pastimes of Mahaprabhu. They needed a lot of purports. So he wrote with integrated philosophy. And although he felt utterly unqualified, he used to call himself, "I'm a worm in stool." Pretty graphic. I'm no higher than a worm in stool. I'm not a writer, I'm not a scholar, but if all the devotees are desiring it, I will try. Let me try. And so he began at the age of 90 something. Amazing. And it was not just his pen, it was the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu that flowed through his pen, you see. He didn't claim credit. He begged that readers not only see his faults, but to drink the nectar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's glories. So from the ashes of an offense came the rising of the moon. That's this book we're studying. From the humility of one soul came the guiding light for many generations. That's why we owe everything to Krishnadas Kaviraj. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. So, summary. We're going to summarize now what we covered. Okay? Main pastimes. In this section, not too many pastimes. But these are the key things. Lord Chaitanya's theological identity was revealed. That's the pastime. That he's the direct appearance of Krishna himself combined with Srimati Radharani. It's predicted in all the scriptures. Okay? What are his reasons to appear? External reason was to establish Yuga Dharma of chanting. And the internal reason was he wanted to relish the taste, the love that Radharani feels. Then the rest of the chapters are really about spiritual family tree. Who is who? The who is who of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Panchatattva, all their divine associates. Who are the key personalities? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Lord Nityananda Prabhu is Balram. Advaita Acharya is combined Mahavishnu and Sadashiv. Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani. And Srivas Thakur is Narad Muni. Then we talk about 6 Goswamis. Rup Goswami, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Rup Goswami. Oh wait, I said Rup Goswami twice over here. Jeev Goswami is missing, I have to correct that. And Gopal Bhatt Goswami. And of course, the author, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Summary. Philosophical points covered in this section. Bhakti is superior to jnana and karma. This is very important. Bhakti is the highest form of spirituality. Another important point that was made earlier on, and it's going to be made repeatedly in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, is the holy name is non-different from Krishna. Then another point Prabhupada takes, if you read Prabhupada's books, every other page, if not every other line, is refuting Mayavad philosophy. Impersonalism, isn't it? He takes time to refute it strongly. Mayavad is spiritual suicide, he says in his purports. So he starts off right from the beginning. And the emphasis on the descending process, it's called descending process of knowledge. You can't know God by speculation. It must come from realized source. You can't speculate here. We can't go upwards and figure out and make up knowledge. Knowledge will come downwards from above. So Prabhupada's tone, if you read this section, is bold, is urgent, uncompromising. He warns against cheap gurus and speculative philosophies and hollow ritualism. And he passionately calls us all to take up Krishna consciousness now. So key takeaways for us. Guru and Tattva. Bhakti must be rooted in clear understanding of connection to spiritual authority. Opening verse is about gurus, isn't it? The opening verse tells us the most important rooting foundational factor of the rest of the book. The gurus, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also mentioned there. But he starts with Gurun. Tattva comes through that lineage, and of course Nityananda Prabhu is the original guru. Right? The holy name, right from the beginning, holy name is emphasized. And it's interesting, Lord Chaitanya's external reason and internal purposes, they converge in the holy name. His external reason established the holy name is Yuga Dharma, but his internal reason also is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra itself is the highest expression of love between Radha and Krishna. So both are there in the holy name, internal and external, both. They converge. And in Kali Yuga, even amidst our commutes and our emails and our deadlines, chanting Hare Krishna with sincerity remains the most effective spiritual practice available. It is. It's the only thing that actually works. It's the only thing that we can do. It's the only thing that moves us 3 times. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam. There's no other way, no other way, no other way. Right? This Kali Yuga is a very nasty place. It says, nasty eva, nasty, right? Kalau, nasty eva, nasty eva, nasty eva. 3 times is nasty. So that we have to really, really take it up. Krishna consciousness. Right. Oh, it's nasty eva. Sorry, I didn't pronounce that correctly. Nasty eva. That's what it means. Okay. Look at the diverse personalities of Panchatattva. We can draw strength from the example of that diversity. Unity in service. Unity in diversity in the service. The 5 members of Panchatattva, they all wear different color clothes. They all model diverse personalities, talents, and moods, working together for one mission. For us, this means embracing teamwork, respecting and loving each other, come in service mood for whatever seva we do together in our communities. And the bhakti tree. What is there for us to take? We have to become parts of the bhakti tree. The Goswamis, they lived in renunciation, but their mission was what? Writing, teaching, preserving sacred places. That has a modern echo. That echoes now too. Use your skills, use your professions, use your experiences and networks to spread Krishna consciousness in ways that are unique to your situation. There's certain things you can do really well that others can't do. Do it for Krishna. Become a living branch that bears fruit in your circle of influence. Whatever you can do, do it. Okay? So I'm going to very quickly now recap the verses of the chapters. Chapter 1 is called the Spiritual Masters. Krishnadas Kaviraj bows to Guru Gauranga and the root, who is Mahaprabhu. Chapter 2 is about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, that he is in golden form coming to relish. So these are all the chapters. We covered all these points. Okay? Chapter 3 is the external reasons for his appearance, for Yuga Dharma. 4 is internal reasons, confidential reasons, to taste Radha's love, to see himself through her eyes. 5, glories of Lord Nityananda. Balaram, playful, boundless Lord Nitai. He serves Gauranga and lifts everyone without judgment. 6, glories of Advaita Acharya, the whole chapter. Who is Vishnu Tattva? He calls down the Lord with Tulsi and Ganga water to rescue the world. 7, the 5 features, Panchatattva, that's chapter 7. Chapter 8, the author, who is Krishnadas? Kaviraj Goswami. He receives the order, it's all about him. Chapter 8. Chapter 9, we talk about the desire tree, right? Of devotional service. He plants the bhakti tree. And chapter 10 is what are the trunks and branches? So Mahaprabhu is the main trunk, and then Nityananda Prabhu like that, and the 6 Goswamis become the branches, and so on. And 11 talks about the lineage from Nityananda Prabhu, his family tree, in the sense of the expansions. And then 12 is expansions of Advaita and Gadadhar Pandit. Okay? We covered all 12 chapters. Hari Bol. Not done yet though. Quiz time. Okay, raise your hand. Don't shout out the names. Okay, raise your hand. I'll call upon you. Okay? All right. Question. Yeah, multiple choice, very easy. What does the word avatar literally mean? To rise up in glory, to come down, to take human form, to spread mercy. Yes. Come down. Come down. B. Everyone says. Anybody has a different opinion? B. Okay, let's see if that's correct. Yes. Come down. Haribol. That's avatar, okay? Fill in the blank. Okay, this is not multiple choice. Lord Chaitanya appears once in hour, month, week, year? Day of Brahma, that's correct. 1 day of Brahma is 4.2 billion years, that's right. 4.32 billion. You can imagine when he yawns, it's like 2 million years over here. Right. Okay. True or false? Advaita Acharya called the Lord by offering tulsi leaves and Ganga water. True. Good. Okay. True. Jai. That's true. Question. Which of these was not one of Lord Chaitanya's internal reasons for appearing? 1. To taste Radharani's love for Krishna. B. To understand the sweetness of his own qualities. C. To expand the material universe. D. To experience happiness of pure devotee. C. That's correct. If it's in Spanish, I would say C. C is correct. To expand the material universe. Okay. C. Oh, these are the harder ones. Actually, they're not that hard. Which Goswami is called the architect of rasa? Okay. Rupa Goswami. Anyone has any other opinion? No. Okay. Correct. Rupa Goswami. Who is known for laying down the sambandha, the foundational sambandha tattva, the science of eternal? Very good. Sanatan. Anybody else? No, okay. Sanatan Goswami. It's good. You're paying attention. Very nice. Which Goswami is known as the philosopher's philosopher? Jiva Goswami. He defended Gaudiya Siddhanta in works like the Stata Sandarbha. Very good. Jiva. Thank you. Jiva Goswami. Which Goswami is famed for his extreme renunciation and constant weeping in separation from Radha Krishna? Raghunath Das Goswami. There are 2 Raghunaths. Raghu Jugau. Raghu Jugau means 2, pair. Raghunath Das Goswami. Okay. Who compiled Hari Bhakti Vilas, codifying the practice of bhakti and linked to Radha Raman in Vrindavan? Gopal Bhatta. Yes. That's right. Yes, Sanatan Goswami, and he partnered with him on this one, yeah. Okay, who celebrated for melodious recitations? Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, Bhatta Raghunath, that's right. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. All right. So that was great fun. Thank you all very much for your kind attention and for your valuable time. We moved through it very quickly, but I think it was fun, wasn't it? Like, I think we got something out of it. It's nice to do it in front of Shishi Gaurnita here. And we hope you can join us. The next one won't be next week, it'll be the week after. Same time, same place. And then the few more will be other weeks. We continue till October. So they're scattered throughout the calendar, so please look out for those. We've been sharing them on WhatsApp. And the idea here was that after you're done with the course, we'll get a good sense of confidence about knowing Chaitanya Charitamrita. At least we covered it end to end. We're not missing anything major. Then we should also, hopefully, is to inspire you. It should inspire you to read. Oh yeah, we talked about a little bit of the story, touched upon it. I want to read the details. So then go back, find that chapter, read it. And don't just read it. Find somebody during prasadam time, tell them that story. Hey Prabhu, you know what's the price of, I don't know the price of Bitcoin. Let me tell you the story. I don't care. I want to tell you the story. You know why Srimati Radharani was doing, something like that. Bitcoin you can check on Monday. Okay. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada ki, Shishi Gaurnita ki, Haribol. Okay. So we have about 5 minutes. We'll take about 5 minutes of comments. Anybody online or anybody here want to share? Yes, Namras Prabhu.
Is there a reason why we don't know so much about Raghunath Bhatta Goswami? It's not really mentioned so much about him as opposed to the other Goswamis.
Yeah, that's true. The question is there a reason why we don't know so much Raghunath Bhatta Goswami? I think a lot of the time the Goswamis who wrote a lot of things, we tend to know more about them because their legacies were preserved in what they wrote. I mean, whatever, we don't know what, or a lot of the times, that's the thing, that's why it's important to record a lot of these things. And he probably, I think he spent more time to himself in that sense. So that's probably one of the reasons. But I'm just speculating right now. But that's what seems to be the parallel. Like we know so much about the other Goswami. Rupa Goswami, we know so much. Yeah, that's a good question. There are biographers that have written, but it's sparse. And there's also some conflicting stories that we hear. It's not exactly the same from account to account. But yeah, something to look into for sure. Anyone else, any comments? Yes. Yes. No, thank you, Prabhu. And I appreciate all of you who came here extra early to participate in this. It really means a lot because we are primarily an educational institution. Our main seva is that. We're supposed to take advantage of these buildings 7 days a week. But it's hard for people to come 7 days a week, maybe in this location. It's kind of out of the way. So whenever we can, if you're going to come a little bit earlier and take part in the education mission of Prabhupada. I think that'll be good. And it's worth the investment of time for me also when I know that so many devotees like yourself are coming and will take home something. And so many devotees online also take advantage. And we can record some of these things. It's the same. We're not making anything new. It's the same material. But we have to keep reciting it and making it more relevant today by restating it from our perspective. That's what education is about. We don't need to be creative in making up new stories. It's the same stories because of these kathas, the leelas, the philosophy, the personalities, they're all eternal. We don't need to invent new characters. We don't need to invent new philosophies. We need to recite them. Cite means to say it. Recite means say it again. Again and again, you see. So we are reciting. But we have to recite from the lens of our experiences. It makes it relevant. So it's important. It's important for us to practice also. This is not an academic exercise, even though it's educational. It's not academic. It's a devotional exercise. We do it for the pleasure of the deities. We have Bhagavatam class here in the morning. Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu read the Bhagavatam every morning. He would recite it. Even there's nobody listening, because guess what? The deities are listening. It's a form of deity worship. It's no different than the arti that's being offered. So what we offered today is no different from offering Charitamrita, bathing and taking Charitamrita. And it's the same. You're doing it in front of the pleasure of the deities. But it gives great joy to the deities when more devotees come and with love. So, yes, we will learn a few facts we can store in our heads, but the purpose is to uplift our hearts so that when we go back, we think of Mahaprabhu's amazing sweetness. Mahaprabhu has stuff that is not available in Krishna Lila. Isn't it? That's why it's called the postgraduate study. Not because the language is difficult. It's the simplest language. Even the verses are only 2-liners. And it's Bengali. It's not even very difficult Sanskrit. Then why is it postgraduate if it's so simple? Even the philosophy is not that crazy complicated. Then what makes it so postgraduate? Why don't we start with that first? Because even if you read, you will not understand why Mahaprabhu is crying and why Nityananda Prabhu is doing this and why, Advaitacharya fainted. And we won't know unless we've studied Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and then you understand step by step. Now it makes sense. You see. That's why postgraduate. The intoxicated madness with the foundation of the most sophisticated philosophy. You can't understand it unless first you study the philosophy. You see. So when we come together like this, we'll do great justice to Srila Prabhupada. He spent so much time writing it. He wrote this book in record time. So, okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now we'll prepare for the Sunday program. Hare Krishna. Thank you again for your time. Hari Bol. Thank you, online devotees. We'll see you next time. Hare Krishna. Yes. Mopilis. And what's that?
It's connected to the long road.
Maybe. I don't know. Is it? Hare Krishna. So we'll be preparing for Tulsi Aarti. I want to thank His Grace Nilmani Prabhu, especially for encouraging me and doing this, supporting and promoting and coming. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Haribol. It's a lot. Yeah. But you just pick and choose those main things. That's the hard part. પણ એમાં શું કરે ઘડી ઘડી વાંચવું પડે It's nice.
Thank you so much, Madana.
Next one will finish the first article. Next one is all about leela. Childhood leela. You must start any leela here.
Mama,
So I'm excited.
bye-bye. We cannot start until the so
Yeah, I can take out.
thank you, Shabu.
પેલું પણ કાઢી લેજો. પેલું white colour છે ને, white colour. ઉપર white colour. આ બાજુ બહારનું white colour plug ઉપરનું ઉપરનું this one. You don't need that. That's we have Julian here.
That's right.
Maybe
But Julia also there.
oh, no, he's waiting. He should do. There's one more. Gopal.
Jai.
It's falling. Thank you, dear.
Oh, he did.